Commander. We've been hit by one of those space anomalies.
Buddy?
And the piloting system is down.
Buddy?
The astrogator's gears are shot!
Get a hold of yourself. You're an Earth Directorate agent.
Affirmative, Commander. What are the orders?
Brace for impact.
Unable to brace for impact.
Hey everyone, I am here with The Outer Worlds 2. I had a chance to play an early version of this on PC, which I did through Linux, and I'm going to show you my gameplay and impressions of that time in this, what is essentially an opening hour or the prologue to the game. And we're going to take a look at everything that I did in the order that I did it. The only thing is that there's some things that I can't show you, so those things have been cut down or completely removed. So let's take a look. All right, and so the first thing that we're going to do is create our character. And so what I'm showing off here is sped up footage of all of the options that you'll have for your body, face, hair, and cosmetic options. I feel like this is incredibly robust and is at least as deep as it was in the first game, but it seems to be offering more options and even deeper this time around. And so now I'm just kind of honing in on my own likeness at this point. And so now we're looking at the personal backgrounds of ex-convict, gambler, lawbringer, professor, renegade, and roustabout. And then from here, you confirm positive traits. And there are a lot of good options. I had already played through this demo once before, so this is my second playthrough, just kind of showcasing that if you select multiple positive traits, you have to start selecting negative traits, which was a kind of thing from the first game. And so I chose Lucky, which gave me the opportunity to select 3 skills to specialize in. And during my time in this demo, I remembered that being sneaky was important, as was being able to hack. And so I go ahead and start my new game, confirming my options and selecting normal. So now that we've landed, we need to work our way towards this first checkpoint area to remove the lockdown that's kind of occurred as a result of things being scattered and people being expected.
The building down here, while you're upstairs restoring power to the door.
I am playing this on PC, and I'm actually doing so on Linux. So you will see a little bit of inconsistent performance that I did have to deal with. But for the most part, the game runs really great, especially if you have frame generation enabled and DLSS going.
Power must be restored to the door.
Smell. Does Brad get flash fried in here?
So you'll see that a lot of this is still pretty much tutorializing you, and there's even like an earlier section that I didn't show where it's even kind of more rudimentary of tutorializing you on movement, using computers, and things like that.
As
unable to function due to expiring without permission will result in demerits being assigned.
So now we've got robots that have been activated, sentries and turrets and things like that.
Help, Commander. Must be a guard around here somewhere who can shut the mechs down. Screen's broken, so should be nothing to pass yourself off as one of their own.
Or we could try shutting them down ourselves. I spied some controls just past the gate that looks like they operate the mechs.
Always a good idea.
So because I found that badge upstairs, I'm kind of able to use it in this conversation.
Corbin receiving. It's a glorious day in the Protectorate. How can I serve? Wait a moment. You're calling from landing pad 0-53? That's listed as decommissioned. And yet the defenses have come online? Please be so kind as to inform me of your name and ID number so that I may report you for this infraction. And hurry, please. The transmission of the Sovereign's family's arrival will start any moment. I can scarce afford the demerits missing it would entail. Mallory?
So I'm trying to use this
Now I understand.
in my favor?
I'd heard you were, that your condition wasn't, optimal. What? I know I shouldn't be asking this, but what was it like? The mental refreshment? No! I mean, yes! Of course I would. Willingly. Were I to fail to adequately fulfill my duties to the Sovereign and the Protectorate, I am pleased you have been returned to us as a fully functioning subject. Sorry, I can't risk being sent to mental... forget I said that. It is my duty to report this. I'm sure the Arbiters will come get you out of there when they have the time.
So that didn't quite work how I wanted it to, but I do have a backup plan. Setting my one of my skills as hacking is really going to become beneficial here. So I'm pretty much in the clear. I grab this shunt to hack with, and I get my option to disable all of the security systems in this area.
Rerouting power did the trick, Commander. All peace and quiet here now.
Let's not waste time congratulating ourselves.
And so I've been so used to the previous playthrough where everything was active that I kind of just kept sneaking anyway. But what I decided to go do here is show you the alternate path that could be taken here. So there are some food and drink items that you can pick up, kind of some unhealthy options overall, but there is this kind of underpath here. And these little rat things don't even attack you, so you can kill them, but it's definitely not necessary. And so you could sneak around and come here, but because I don't have the lockpicking skill, that isn't available to me. But had you picked that, that would be a path for you. And so I'm able to kind of pick up the pace here and get with my crew, who are not actually my crew. They're not actually companions to me.
I'd originally planned for. We've got to change our approach. Split the team to handle comms and security concurrently.
So there's still transition zones, but
Good
these
to know
seem
DeVries is
to
consistently
be a whole
on
lot
edge.
quicker.
Wasn't just me. You'd think she'd never been on a mission before. Everyone knows fluid's about the best you can hope for. Well, sitting here jawing ain't gonna accomplish much. Looks to be central dispatch on the right with security ops on the left. Which you taking, Commander? We'll hit the other.
So
Kinda
being a
figured that'd be your
lawbringer,
choice.
having
Abara and I'll take
a
central
skill
dispatch,
towards
then meet you at the
guns,
skip labs.
I chose the
We'll
option
stay
that
well
made
out
the
of
most
trouble,
sense.
won't we, Cadet?
That's right. Like you told me, Commander. Everyone's well-being depends on our success. If whatever's going on here is as bad as the Chief thinks, then we'll make an
And that's something that I actually told him. There's
right.
another
Well,
earlier part where you're talking
notwithstanding
to
Abara's
Niles,
enthusiasm
and he
here,
asks you for
or DeVries'
advice,
concerns over
and that's
fluidity,
actually a piece of
I'm
advice that
fairly
I
certain
gave
we've got
him, and
this under
he's
control.
reciting it back
Rest
to me.
easy,
And then
Commander.
there was even a bit of text that said, "This will be remembered," and sure enough, this is how it gets recalled.
Agent Pascal, ma'am, I've been cogitating on how best to gain entry to Central Dispatch. You know, without bringing all that.
Security ops is heavily guarded, so be vigilant. You'll need to shut down security measures once you're inside.
So I am kind of doing
Drop
this
for you in the
E3
watch
demo
room.
of
There's a key to a
smooth
maintenance
looking,
tunnel
smooth
following the
movement,
building.
kind of taking in the environment for your benefit. I really want you all to see as much of this as possible that I'm able to show. So there will be containers to loot. You can holster your gun as you need it, pull it out when you want it. There are
Drilling in
perks to loot,
progress.
so be on the
Observe
lookout
this
for
unit's
those.
dogged determination at its menial task, and reapply yourself to your duties.
So I had that, I'm able to sneak in. And there's just a lot of goodies around. There's a lot of things to search for.
Commander. Path's been cleared. Only encountered one guard. He's been dealt with. Should have seen it. Wasn't pretty.
As long as it was done righteously in the name of the Earth Directorate. Right, Sandoval?
I wouldn't stand too close to the airlock when we're back on the ship, Pascal. Why? Is there something wrong with the airlock?
So I'm playing it a little bit slow because I do see the red icon, but I'm not sure what they can hear. I'm not sure what they could see. So I really wasn't wanting to take a lot of chances. And so this is telling me about the awareness and stealth, enemies versus you, the sounds you make, things like that. This is a pretty easy encounter overall to kind of just negate this robot. You'll even see that it turns around and kind of sees me, but it really doesn't make a whole lot out. I do think that the stealth skill that I equipped plays a big part in that. And while I could go through that door, I do spot some things at the end of this corridor that I can loot, such as that scrap metal. I'm always a fan of closing the doors behind me. No matter how advanced or simplistic the AI may or may not be, I want to make sure.
Instructions on how to use it to quietly bypass the guards.
So we can see that there's a guard down there. I'm being directed this way. And, well, that's how she handled that. So I'm going to immediately equip that. And it teaches me about sneak attacks, which I will happily demonstrate here shortly. Quick look at the inventory, and I just swap my pistol for the knife, just because that's just how I prefer my hotkeys. And we can see that there's a collectible card there that gave me +5 to max health. This guy's singing to himself and sneak attack. Got some instructional items here, and I just wanted to see if there might be something neat behind that screen, but there's not. So I can kind of hear my own footsteps, but I really just still don't have like a handle on what noise means to other characters. And I always look up and I realize that the door is kind of the most straightforward way through, but this overhead view is going to give me the greatest of advantages.
More able to fulfill their duties. Yes, that is exactly what I meant. Great speed to protect it.
And so I can see that both backs are facing me. Stab that dude in the butt to death. A little bit of an accident. And another kill. Kind of getting a Dishonored vibe from this, whether intentional or not. And so this kind of is me going through the computer, reading things, seeing if there's anything that I can do. Because I have that hacking ability, I can also eject this card, which during my first playthrough, I couldn't do that first event, and I couldn't eject this pumping station card. So we've got yet another guard to kill. Completely unnecessary, but we're going to do it anyway. Get some nice items from him. More security details, and it's interesting because a lot of the things that you'll end up reading can play a part during conversations. And so here we're coming up on a room that reveals there to be a mech. Got a locked safe there, and this is a repair station, but I don't have engineering or have the trait for innovative. So I'm unable to do anything that would benefit me here. Once again, just kind of going through the computer to glean any kind of information that could be used in a conversation or as leverage for something else. I look up just to make sure that there's no other vents that I could get to.
I've left some distraction devices in a floor panel by the scaffolding. Use them to breach the control room. Just wait until their guns are pointing away from your position.
So here I'm given a distraction device, which I do not demonstrate in any way, shape, or form. Just the opportunity did not present itself as even necessary to do. I'm already kind of familiar with the patrol here. And even though I'm standing in that doorway, I'm not very well seen. And again, the stealth trait that I equipped plays a large part in my discoverability.
I don't care where I'm son.
And thankfully, even though that guy was mid-sentence, this guy didn't seem to care too much about that. So with that robot, I would have been able to get that multi-targeting console and would have been able to adjust something there, but because of that, that's not happening. But what I did do is recall all of the mechs, and so now they aren't an issue for me. I do have to say that reading through every dialogue is worth it. There's going to be some sort of benefit. If nothing else, it'll just be lore, but it's always entertaining and just really fun to read.
We're en route to the comms control module. Just need to deal with these guards, quietly.
Off to the right is an automed station. I think I look at one of those later on, but it can just restore you to full health if you're either low on health or just don't want to use anything that you've got in your inventory. And so now I'm avoiding a fight with the mechs that would otherwise be there. Alright, and so we've skipped ahead after kind of a moment that occurs that I cannot show. But now we're starting to show off some of the combat because it's something that I've largely avoided. But kind of in this case, you're kind of forced into the combat. You saw that I had a pistol. Now I have this kind of Wild West gun, which very much follows in the theme of the Outer Worlds, how it has this cross of sci-fi with the Old West, and it still works extremely well. So if we remember earlier, I was able to eject a pumping card, a card for the pumping station, and now I'm actually able to utilize it. So for this playthrough and this capture here, I'm actually doing this for the first time. I was not able to see this my first time through, which kind of does a good job at indicating that this is going to be a game that you're going to want to play through multiple times to explore all of the different avenues, to try the things that you couldn't do before, because you're not going to be able to specialize in every single aspect. And I find that incredibly endearing, and it's something that I definitely look forward to. I decided not to enable that turret, and I took a look at this electricity, and I quickly surmised that it was on a timer that was rolling through the area, so I just had to wait for my moment. And so I go. Just really excellent deep colors here. I don't know if this is going to show up as good on YouTube, but it's incredibly vivid, and I'm just looking at it through an LED screen, not an OLED. Took a little bit of electricity damage there, which was a little unfortunate, but I dealt with it. Alright, that guy almost saw me. I'm sneaking through some more. I'm feeling pretty positive about this jump. But I go ahead and quick save just on the off chance. And I clear it pretty handily. I know there's some baddies here, and clearly this isn't going to work for me. So it wastes one guy, but it either shorts out or it gets turned off right away. So realizing the futility of trying to do anything more here, I just decided to take these guys head on. I was not prepared for how many would be alerted, to be honest. My hip firing wasn't quite nailing the shots. Except for those were working really well. And so I couldn't enable the turret anymore. I'm getting lit up. So I take the inhaler to get my health back up. And I just let that guy go. And I make a break for it. So we can see a safe here. And there's a door here that's problematic. So I'm able to use all of this and hack it once more. Again, hacking a very good skill to have early in the game. So I'm able to unlock the safe and disable this barrier all at once. I get a healthy amount of bits from that, and so had I not had the hack ability, you could see that vent over there that I could use, and that would have been the way to kind of handle that situation. We fast forward a little bit, and had I selected the background professor, I would have actually been able to read and understand what that blackboard had to say. And with that field control panel, had I had some other skills, that would have also been to my benefit to utilize. I make a mad dash to the bathroom to kind of get my bearings, do some quick looting, but ultimately prepare for a fight. Then I decide to try to stealth it, at least as much as I can, you know. I think a lot of people's first instinct is to always try to, you know, do stealth, and then if things fall apart, then they just kind of deal with it from there. I pull off a sneak attack at the most critical time. I was probably 0.1 second away from being discovered and everyone else in the room being alerted to me. Now I know I have a guy to my right, but I need to get through the door in front of me, and there's only this guy here. I don't really need to go for the other one. So I look for some avenues, and I don't know if this is a little bit on the cheeky side, but I do kind of go through. And now, again, I don't have to kill this guy. I do a little sneak attack to the butt. Wait.
Commander, can you hear us?
I do a sneak attack, and I'm able
Debris
to
isn't responding to our comms.
move on.
In other words, we're trapped out here. So don't count on us for backup. We'll be busy keeping ourselves alive. Don't worry about us. Just get to DeVries and liberate that core so we can get out of here.
So we get some details. And it's worth noting that we are reaching the end of this demo of the prologue to the Outer Worlds 2. So this will, this gameplay will abruptly end. But let's take a look at this vendor, see what's for sale, what I can sell. I realized that I saw sell junk right at the end there, so I was trying to see what it would sell, but I wasn't on the sell screen, so I didn't actually get to see what of my inventory it sold. But this is the TTD, the tactical time dilation. This was a prominent feature of the first game, but during my initial combat sequences, I wasn't using it, and I got the tooltip about it now, so I figured this was a good opportunity to kind of just shoot my way through this room. And so before this demo ends, I wanted to clear one more room. This guy seems to be alerted to something for what he saw, but I can't let him live. Not after everything he's seen. How scary would that be? Just turning around and somebody with a knife is just right there and they stab you. Accidentally discovered that you can run and slide. If it was in the first game, I definitely don't remember it. Or at least I never used it. I pretty much kind of played this way, which was sneaky and slow, and a little more, tactical in pretty much every regard that I could. This guy would spot me if I tried to make my way towards the door, so I'm going to dispatch him. Again, 0.1 seconds away from being completely discovered. But knowing that I'm near the end of this demo, I'm just going to shoot the rest of them. I think I shot his grenade out of his hand for that, which was an incredible discovery. All right, and this concludes the demo. I'm sorry I can't show you anything beyond this moment. As a bonus, I've gone ahead and included the settings that I used during my gameplay, but also to show you pretty much what's available in terms of graphics options for playing this on PC. And that concludes my preview of The Outer Worlds 2. I had an absolute blast with it, with all of the improvements, kind of the direction that the game is going. It makes me even more excited for the full game in October, as the original game was one of my favorite RPGs of all time. And I know that this preview is in a different format than I typically do, but if you like what I'm doing with it, please comment below and say whether you like that or not. And if you like this video, please give it a like. If you really like what we're doing, please consider subscribing to the channel. I will put a link to the game in the description below. That'll do it for me. Thank you so much again for watching, and I will catch you all on the next one.